Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Maya with Simply Bloom. So today I am doing a little August vegetable garden harvest. Now I did have 3 families come out yesterday to pick. We have 60 apple trees, so they had picked buckets and buckets of apples. They left the trees. And then I also got a little, harvest basket of the produce for them of, broccoli, beans, cucumbers. What else did I do? Zucchini. So some of my produce left yesterday. So it's not as much as it would have been before I gave it away, but I just wanted to bless them. And then also we had kind of some weird weather. In May we were in the 90s, which never happens in northern Minnesota in May. So everything took off super fast, and then we cooled down to the 60s as our high. For a couple of weeks we were just in the 60s. So everything just kind of stopped growing, and then we kind of warmed up again, and now we cooled down again. So it's like grow, stop, and we're kind of in the stop moment. So a lot of things that were ready at this point last year, like peppers were coloring up. I had eggplant already last year. Don't have those right now. So it's going to be kind of small compared to last year anyways, and then even smaller just because I gave some away already. I also want to discuss briefly before I show you my garden. So when I first planted it in the spring, I laid down a bunch of straw to help suppress the weeds, which did its job. Like, no weeds really from underneath came up. A few did, but not too many. But what it did when I planted the straw, or when I laid down the straw, was I planted barley. All this barley came up, and I was kind of doing my best to like pull it out, but the roots were staying, and then it would just regrow. And then it got away from me because I wasn't on top of it. And then Laura from Garden Answer did her wheat wreath, and I'm like, barley's similar to wheat. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna let it go, let it kind of mature and age, and then it's getting to the point now where I'm gonna go through soon, harvest all the barley that I grew, and make a wreath. So I thought that would be cool. So that's why there's barley everywhere down in my vegetable garden. But let's go. Okay, so this is actually my cut flower garden. You can see, weeds. But I want to check. I have these sweet mocha swirl peppers. I want to check. They are so close. So you can see they're like striped, and you could eat them now, but I like it. So the green will actually start to turn almost like a brown, like a deep purple brown, striped with the yellow, and that's how I prefer to eat them. But I think they're all green still. They're close, but not quite ready. I have a bunch of peppers, and they're just not ready yet. Kind of sad. Okay, I grew all my tomatoes in containers on my back deck this year. Last year I planted them in the ground. We had a normal year for Minnesota. Lots of rain, which I'm so thankful, because I know a lot of the world is in drought, and I feel you guys. I'm really sorry. I lived in Montana for 5 years, and we were just surrounded by drought and wildfire, so I know what it's like, and I am sorry. But last year we had the tomatoes planted in, I don't want to say it was full clay soil, but it was soil that definitely retained moisture and held on to it for a long time, and it just stayed too wet. All the tomatoes got diseases, just didn't do well. So I planted them in pots this year on the deck. So we'll go up there and check there later. I set out some harvest baskets, some supplies, so I'm grabbing that, and we will go down to the garden. Okay, you can see all my barley. I am right next to the coop, so we have turkeys, ducks, and chickens. You're gonna hear them as I talk. Let me just kind of show you briefly what I'm gonna be harvesting, and then I'm gonna get to harvesting. Okay, so I'm gonna be taking this green cabbage. You can see the barley is looking beautiful. I can just imagine that in a wreath. So that's why I left it. But yeah, I had this whole section just lined with straw. Now I can see some random weeds that popped up, but most of it, 90% of it, is barley. I don't know. I even debated on whether I should show you because it just looks like a mess. But it's just where I'm at. So I'm going to harvest this cabbage. I can't remember the variety. I planted a bunch of different cabbages, or all my veggies by seed. And then I had surgery. I couldn't walk for 3 weeks. I had surgery on my foot. And my mom came out and helped plant. And I told her, I'm like, don't worry about tagging anything. Just plant it. Get it in the ground. I don't need to know the varieties. And, you know, I'm not blaming her, but that's just what happened because I told her, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I have 4 rows of beans, if you can see between the barley. So there's 1, 2, 3, focus, 3, and then 4. And those are weeds. Like, that's not barley, that's weeds. I just got behind, obviously. And then I'm growing some cucumbers on the fence line, so I need to harvest some cucumbers. That's my favorite way to do it. My favorite way is to grow them in pots. They're like 3-gallon pots, and then just put them up a fence. And I don't know, I love it that way. Over here, I have them trying to grow up a tomato cage, and it just doesn't work as well. And they're so thick and so dense. I have problems finding the cucumbers, and a lot of times I miss them. And then by the time I find them, they're just too big. But I'm gonna harvest cucumbers. I have some purple broccoli. This is by far my favorite broccoli. It's not like one big head like the green broccoli. It sends up little side shoots, and it keeps producing all season long. I got this from Johnny's. I'll see if I can leave the link down below, but I love it. It's sweeter. It's not as bitter. Like I said, it produces all season long, and I've been harvesting all the time. I just gave the families a bunch of this, so I don't have too much left over. Here I have some of it bolting. I'll give that to my birds, but overall, this is my favorite broccoli. And then here, these aren't ready yet, but I do have little itty bitty Brussels sprouts. These are the Red Darling Brussels sprouts, so they're the reddish purple ones. More barley, looking lovely. I do have some green broccoli heads. I harvested some of these. I harvested that one yesterday. I wouldn't mind if they got a little bit bigger. So we'll see if I take any of that or not. All right, my birds are starting to get a little noisy, so I'm just gonna set you guys up and start harvesting. Completely underestimated how many beans there were. Ran out of buckets by first row. Another 3 rows to go, so let's go get more. Okay, you guys, I'm not done harvesting everything, but I got a call from my husband. All the kids are waking up, so we are going to the county fair today. All the kids are thrilled. So my husband called, he's like, you better finish that up later and get in here so we can get to the fair, because the kids are bouncing off the walls. But I just want to show you what I did get harvested quickly. Okay, so I have 4 different kinds of beans. This is Purple Queen, Gold Mine, Dragon's Breath, Dragon's Tongue, I can never remember which one it is, and then Jade. And I have so much Jade, as you can see. I have cucumbers. At the bottom I have little pickling cucumbers. Here, that's actually bigger than what I like them to get. And then on top I have Merlin, which I think you can only find at Burpees. This is my all-time favorite cucumber. This is Sweet Success. I think you can only find it on Burpees. I think Burpees developed this. More Merlin, my cabbage, and that's it. So things I didn't get harvested is I didn't harvest broccoli, onions, potatoes, and there's a few strawberries down there, and then tomatoes as well. So maybe I'll do a part 2 tomorrow. We'll see. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna run in and go to the fair. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.